This episode of the Golf Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is presented to you by Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting research platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit hofbets.com and use code SGPN to get 50% off your first month and start making smarter bets today. All right, DJs, welcome back. It's your boy, Boston Capper. Got the God of Golf himself in here. And we have two very special guests because we're going to do our major championship preview because it's the doldrums of golf right now. We need something to talk about, and we want to talk about some majors. And so we got a good friend of the program, former employee, Brian Kirshner. BK, what's up, buddy?
I'm very happy to be joined by some great friends tonight. I haven't potted in a while, like months. So this is a nice little warm up for the season. I miss golf. I've been jonesing to talk some golf, so I'm very excited for tonight.
Good. I love it. And then we got Matt Gannon, our DFS guru. You hear him every Monday night and read his articles as well. Matt, so you got the San Diego hat on. And I feel like every fucking time I see you have a different hat on. Explain the San Diego hat. I don't get it.
Yeah, I'm definitely just a big fitted hat guy. I got this one last week. Walked in. If I see a lids, I'm going in the lids. So better off just staying away from the store. But if I see one, I go in, find a new one, I wear it. Yeah, nothing to it. Just kind of like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like how you're very color. Or I like how you're very color scheme too. Like it looks like
that was part of it too.
Yeah, it looks like the throwback unis there too. So
yeah.
Well, before we get into golf. While I warm you guys up with some NFL stuff first, Matt, while I talk to you first.
All right, let's hear it.
So someone we forgot to actually answer this in our mailbag last Thursday, but we're all fans of all the golf people on SGPN are all fans of really bad franchises, and I think your team, the Carolina Panthers, right now are the king turd of all of us. So I guess how about we try and spin it as a positive? What's one thing that is positive right now about your team?
Bryce Young will have one really good throw game. That's pretty much it. And as you guys all know, we have nothing to tank for. We have no picks. We have owner problems. We have owners on Epstein list. It is a mess. It is an absolute mess in Charlotte right now. I don't know what the outcome is. I mean, I think we were boned when we drafted Bryce because it is what it is. We got a guy, but he's just not the guy clearly week after week. And I'm very not optimistic. I am in the works of changing my fandom. Not actually, but it's bad. I have nothing positive to say. It's just all bad.
Well, all right. So I watched a little bit of the Carolina game and Bryce looked a little better this past week. He was getting the ball out a lot faster. Seemed like he was hitting his back leg and getting rid of it. He looked better.
He did look better, but against a defense that has committed the division player of the week for 3 straight weeks, I'm not taking it as much because that Packers defense has been absolutely woeful the last month of the season. So it was a good week, yeah, but they put up 30 points. I need to see it more than we've seen it because weeks 1 through 15 have been garbage, but he does have one spectacular throw game that's like, wow, number 1 pick. I see it. Like not many guys are making this throw, but he gets sacked a lot. He's not using his legs as much as I would like him to. And it's just, what am I to be hopeful for? And I know you guys are fans of shitty teams too, but I've never experienced a good NFL team. I had that one Cam season. So I don't know what, it's just bad. It's just bad.
Mm-hmm. Well, listen, I mean, you're still young. They can definitely turn it around. Maybe you won't be jaded like Capper and I, although Capper has a lot of rings. They still
you have years to make up for.
Yeah. You would not think so with me screaming at my TV on Christmas Eve. These fucking morons winning a goddamn game.
Yeah,
unbelievably stupid. And Christmas Eve to me was great this year. Like I had family and friends over. It was loud. There was kids. It reminded me when I was a kid growing up. And it was perfect up until the fucking Patriots. I hate them so much.
There you go.
All
right, Kirshner, I want to turn to you because when I was on the Inside Golf podcast, I think right at the tail end there, apparently Andy was telling me about you had an anti-Brock Purdy MVP.
And I'm right. I've fulfilled the prophecy.
So I want you to take your victory lap because as soon as I fell asleep, at halftime, but as soon as I woke up and I saw 4 picks from Brock Purdy, you were the first person I thought of. So go ahead, victory lap it.
No, there's
Tell
really no victory lap to be had. Like, I like the NFL. I like betting on the NFL. I don't care about any team. I don't have like an MVP ticket. And I tweeted it and I was like, this impacts my life in a negative way, but Brock Purdy should not be the MVP of the NFL. And I think it was right after like the photo of him walking into the game, like looking like a Kohl's model came out. I'm like, this guy just should not be the NFL MVP. And I tweeted out a couple videos when like McCaffrey would have a long catch for a touchdown and like Purdy would pass it 5 yards and McCaffrey would just like run it down the field 100 yards. And I was like, no other QB can do this in the NFL. Like, he needs to be MVP. But in all honesty, he's like a top 7, top 5 quarterback in the NFL, but I just never thought he should be the most valuable player in the NFL when he's not even the most valuable player on his own franchise. So I think Lamar is going to shit his pants next week because this is what's been happening.
No, not next week. Playoffs, he will. Not next week.
No. Next week. The second someone becomes a favorite to win the MVP, they just have a horrible game. So that's kind of a model I've been like kind of trending and looking at. So yeah, that's a little tidbit. Next week, Miami, nuclear missile, whale play. All of Lamar unders like that.
It's Miami on the road, right?
Yeah, that's a nuke for me next week. But that's just something I've been seeing in the NFL this year.
It's still so fucking weird to me that you don't have an NFL team. It's fucking strange.
Yeah.
It doesn't sit right. It doesn't sit right.
No, I understand, but like, am I really gonna like live and die and care about like the Jets or Giants? Like, no.
You do the Islanders, so like, why not?
No, Isles are my team. Like, like by far Isles are my team. But yeah, I understand your point. I don't feel it. I don't feel a connection to either of those teams.
It was hilarious when you texted me about the Bruins Islanders game and we were reeling and you were like, they're absolutely going to lose to the Bruins. And I was like, yeah, probably. And they did. Your team.
I was at that game.
Yeah, you're on a lot of Islanders game, man. You got season tickets?
No, it's just like it's not that expensive and like it's fun to go to. Yeah. And like I enjoy watching live hockey. Like Gannon knows, like he's a big Peas fan. Like it's very fun to go to hockey games. Like,
live hockey is the best experience. Period. End of story.
100% agree. Yeah,
I've been going to a bunch. They are fun.
You're just a diehard Peas fan.
You got your pick of seats down there. Nobody goes to fucking Panthers games.
They're on it, yeah, and it's getting. From the few games I've been to, apparently it's getting more busy because they went to the Stanley Cup last year. But people that I sat next to, like at a few games ago, they were like, last year no one was here, and like the first game I went to, it was sold out. So it's fun. It's fun.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Okay. All right. Well, why don't we take our first break?
Yeah.
Pay the ads there, and then we'll actually get to the point of this podcast. Let's talk about the only thing that matters in golf this year, the majors.
So sad. All right, well, listen, Underdog Fantasy is going to where you play alongside your favorite fantasy players all season long. NFL, NBA, NHL, college, basketball, and football. All you got to do is pick higher or lower on your favorite players' fantasy stats and cash in. So watch along, make your picks, and maybe make a little cash over on Underdog's mobile app or website, UnderdogFantasy.com. When you sign up with code SGPN, Underdog will double your first deposit up to $100. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code SGPN.
Okay. All right. Well, why don't we go first to the Masters, which will be the first round that is going to matter in the entire year when that Thursday rolls around. So I went on the Indy Locks podcast a couple weeks ago. One of the things that we wanted to talk about a lot is, like any changes to the courses, especially ones we haven't seen. The last couple of years with the Masters, there have been significant changes. Obviously, you had the reconstruction essentially of hole number 11, where they took out all the trees. They widened the fairways a little bit. They lengthened 13, lengthened 15. So it seems like unless they are withholding any information, they're not changing the course at all. They might have some changes to some greens. There's always been they're trying to do more expansion of fairways, reduction of rough, but really the only thing to take away from, to look at this year is maybe some changes, or not changes, but how those holes played. that's a topic for another time. So I guess really, listen, we all know the Masters. We all know Augusta National. We have plenty of data at this point. If you go to Data Golf, they have all the strokes gained data. They have the relative skill set chart, et cetera. So it's just going to come down to essentially how you like handicapping this thing. What do you like valuing? Me personally, when I went to Augusta National and I was able to walk around the entire property, see the greens, I just made it a point that I am never going to take a guy who's bad around the greens. That's always been just a common narrative with the Masters. It was really reinforced when I went that, it's not that it's so impossibly difficult. It's that the type of shots you're asked to do around the green, you can do it if you're really good, but the punishment for being sloppy, not executing is a lot. So, and you notice, Jon Rahm, Scotty Scheffler, Hideki's really good around the green. Spieth, obviously, all these guys who have been really good around the green. That tends to be the kind of the tiebreaker in order to carry them to, Augusta success. So, unlike the last couple of years where we've had to maybe speculate about, how's this hole going to play? Is it really going to change? I think the only thing it's really done to Augusta National is it just made it impossibly long, especially when it's playing really wet like it did the last couple of years. That's why I've seen like guys who are just really long off the tee tend to dominate. Look at the leader last year, Rahm, Cam Young, Hovland, Cantlay even. He's got some poppies really good off the tee too. So yeah. So if it's going to be similar conditions this year, if it's going to play very long, expect a lot of the same. But if you get a type of weather conditions like in 2021 when it was pretty firm, you might get a little more diverse leaderboard. But one thing Cantlay said in an interview last year, but when talking about Augusta National, it used to be where you want to be on the correct side of the fairway, so driving accuracy mattered. But because the tee boxes are so pushed back and there's so many long approach shots, it doesn't really matter now what side of the fairway you're on because you're having a really long approach shot in. So that's why I think off the tee has been mattering a lot more in the last couple of years. Obviously, long iron play, 75% of your shots are going to be over 150 yards there. Good around the green, obviously plays well there. That's me. So Capper, Matt, Brian, maybe I'll kick it to you guys. Brian, I'll go to you first. Is there anything I missed? Is there anything that, you find that is unique to the Masters that you want to put in your handicap, or is it really just kind of what I summarized there?
Well, I think the biggest thing that I think about the Masters, at least recently, is that 3 of the last 4 winners have won like 3 times before they played the Masters. So, people in not like good form, like unbelievable winning golf tournaments, number 1 player in the world, type players have been winning. I think this year we're due for a non-number 1 player in the world to win. We have Tiger, DJ, Scotty Rahm, all at one point number 1 players in the world. I think we get like a Decky, Trevor Immelman, Zach Johnson type winner, Sergio Reed winner this year. I don't think we get an absolute top dog winning the Masters this year. But if someone does win 3 times before the Masters, I will bet them. But I think we're due for a more mid-tier golfer to win at Augusta this year.
When you say mid-tier, I mean, who you consider the last mid-tier guy? Decky?
Yeah, Decky. Definitely okay. Decky, and then Sergio and Reed when they won back-to-back. We're not, number 1 players in the world. So do you want me to give my pick?
Well, let me get Matt's opinion first. So I guess what's the most important thing you look at when you're handicapping the Masters every single year?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much what you said, a guy who's very creative around the green and a guy who's not afraid to let loose off the tee with no regret, because there is some spaces on Augusta where you have a little bit more room than you may think. So pretty much what you said, you got to be able to hit it long like the past winners have and be uber creative on and around the greens.
Okay. All right. So the criteria of what we're going to do tonight is we're just going to give essentially a favorite, kind of a snap pick right now. Listen, it is December. A lot can happen between now and the major, especially when we get to the Open Championship. Us trying to pick a winner there. Good luck. But we're going to pick a favorite basically under 30-1. We're going to pick a guy who can be any odds. It's just a guy we see with odds right now that we think is going to basically be better by the time we get to the tournament. And then a long shot, anything over 60-1. So, Capper, why don't I go to you first? What's your gun to your head pick for any of the favorites under 30-1 to win the 2024 Masters?
So, I mean, going back to back's insanely difficult. Rory's never winning another major. Vic still too bad around the greens. I know he flashed a little bit this past year. Jordan's way too short.
Is he?
Yeah, he's fucking 18-1.
I thought you meant short off the tee.
No, like short odds. No. And I'm not going to be disgusting like you are, Steve, and take the fucking top of the board, Scotty Scheffler.
So can I say something?
Yes, you sure can.
I had baby brain when I went on Andy's podcast. I wasn't really prepared to make picks. Some of my picks will be changed.
Fine.
Okay. I've had a little bit of time to think, and full disclosure, I haven't listened to the pod yet. So I just know you wrote that damn article. That's when I texted you. I was like, you're disgusting. So Homa, no. All right, make a pick. Stop going through
Smith. I'll go back to Cam. Like maybe he puts it back together, dude. And like, look, if it wasn't for Scotty, like he was the man. Maybe he puts it back together. Gets that year under his belt doing nothing, and maybe he wants to compete again.
Okay,
give me Cam.
All right, Matt. How about you? Gun to your head. Who is a favorite under 30-1? It's going to win the Masters.
I mean, Capper did say Jordan Spieth is too short at 18-1, but for the sake of the sub 30-1 narrative that we are building, I will pick Jordan Spieth. You know what you're getting from Jordan Spieth. You know the course history. I don't care what form he's in. He finished T3 when he was in no form, 2-3 years ago. So I'm down for Jordan. Just figure it out from tee to green, and then he'll chip and putt well. So Jordan, hopefully putt well.
All right, Kirshner, how about you?
Yeah, so this is the major that I have the least conviction about a 30-1 guy. I think it's really tough right now to kind of pick a favorite to win. But since I do have a 28-1 on Cam Smith, I'll take him because again, like I said, I don't think it's going to be a world number one. He will never be a world number one. And he really had a pretty good year post kind of the beginning of the year. He won a couple times on LIV, top 10 at the US Open. And again, if he didn't go to LIV, I think this is a guy I would always say just bet at Augusta because it's a spot he's always been great at. Last year was a very big disappointment in how he kind of started out the year. So that's a bit of a concern, but I straight up bet a 28-1 because I just think that's a great number on a major winner that has the course history here. And, maybe the Saudis are in right now and they just get a big dub to start the year and Cam Smith gets a win, but I do not have big conviction on anybody below 30-1. So I'll go with the guy I already have a bet on.
Like it.
Okay. All right. I think if we get weather conditions similar to what we got the last 2 years, I do think it's going to favor somebody under 30-1 at that point. But if we get something like 2018, 2021, a little warmer, a little firmer, maybe we'll have some wiggle room to go down the odds board. But look, so I'm also going to go with a LIV guy. And I'm going to go with a guy making his 9th Masters appearance, similar to what Rahm did it was a milestone Masters appearance. Rahm won in his 7th last year. This is Brooks' 9th Masters. I'm going with Brooks Koepka, 17-1.
Like it.
So listen, with form for him coming in, it's hard to really gauge how he's really doing. But, it seems like at this point in his career, I mean, obviously a lot of these non-major tournaments hasn't really mattered to him, but he's already proven that to himself that, all right, I can win a major championship. Clip that off the PGA. What's left on his resume, I think now is that Masters win. Finished, 2nd last year. Obviously a lot of close calls, came just short of beating Tiger in 2019. I think the window is going to close on him probably within the next 4 or 5 years. He's got a sense of urgency. He fits a lot of the stuff I'm looking for as far as a guy I'm looking, for here, especially if we get the weather conditions, what we got the last 2 years. I'll go with Brooks. Finally gets his green jacket.
I can get down with that. That's fine.
Okay. All right. Value picks. Who is one guy you see on the odds board, which is tough because I think a lot of these odds kind of suck right now. I think the folks have kind of figured out that just cram everybody 50, 60 to 1 and put them all there and we'll figure it out later. But what's one guy that you see right now that you think is going to close before a tournament with a better number? Matt, we'll start with you. What's that one guy?
I was gonna go with what you said on Brooks. I just think he's gearing up for this one major and this one time of year, and he's gonna close as one of the favorites. But I'll change up to Cantlay because I think he's going to win 1 or 2 times preceding the Masters, therefore just leading his number to close. But Cantlay will probably win all 4 majors. But I don't. Yeah, you can bet him whatever.
Matt, we talked about this last year. You said if he didn't fucking win, you were gonna get off Cantlay. And here you are. Yeah. The season hasn't even started yet, and you're fucking talking yourself into Patrick fucking Cantlay, who no-shows at every major to win the fucking match.
His number, I just think his number will be lower. I'm not going to say I want to bet him. I think his number will be lower than 18, though. Wow. I agree with you. He's a fucking loser.
Okay. But, and you told me I could yell at you if you were starting.
No, yeah. You
gave him that permission?
Yeah, because you knew everyone knew my thing with Cantlay last year. Bet him every damn week. So I said, Capra, if this doesn't pay off, you have full reign to yell at me for this. So
Dad told you to go to your room, Matt. All right.
Yeah.
So all right. Kirscher, what about you? What's one guy you see on the odds board right now that you think their number's too low?
So for the sake of the show, I'll do this, but I was kind of just having my long shot. I think his odds will be lower, but I have a really good case for him. So I'll just go. I'm not saying this guy's gonna win, but Tommy Fleetwood 66 to 1. The day of the Masters, he'll be lower. He's not going to win the Masters. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying his odds will be lower.
That's what I'm saying with Cantlay.
This isn't my conviction pick. I just think his odds are wrong right now. And if you want some CLV, you could bet him. But my long shot pick actually is winning the Masters. So this is just kind of for the sake of the show.
Okay. All right. So I made this argument in my column. Again, this is not – I don't agree with him being at this number. I don't think based on what his resume is, he should be here. But just given where Xander is always priced in majors, he hasn't been worse than 25 to 1 in the last 3 years. There is a 28 to 1 on him right now. And that usually is where his floor is, as the week goes on. So if you are somebody who still thinks Xander can win a Masters, Xander can win a major, 28 right now is probably the best price you're going to get on him because his early season schedule is very favorable. He's got Torrey Pines, he's got Phoenix, he's got Riviera. And he's got Kapalua. He's a threat to win at any of those. So if he wins one of those, the odds are going to go under 20. So if you are somebody who wants to bet Xander to win the Masters, there's a 28 to 1 number on him right now. That is not going to be there probably when we get to April. That's the guy I see right now that probably is a quote unquote value, even if I don't really think the number is all that great. So, Capper, what about you?
Under 30 to 1. I guess we'll let that slide. Fine. What about Tom Kim, man? Guy's fucking 55 to 1, top 15. If not top 15, top 20.
Yeah, he played well here last year.
Played well here last year. Fun, lovable dude. Listen, I don't know if he's gonna win his fucking second time at Augusta, but I mean, you can certainly get worse fucking numbers. I mean, who's in front of him? We got losers like fucking JT, Tony fucking Finau, Terrell Hatton, who hates this golf course, Cam Young, who's never. Yeah, give me a guy who's won on the PGA Tour, who's played well here, clearly likes it, skill set fits it. Give me Tom Kim at 55.
Okay. All right. Long shot pick. Kirshner, why don't we go to you? Who's a long shot you like betting that, or right now that maybe you're considering actually betting right now?
Yeah, I actually did bet him. So last night I couldn't sleep. I was, it's a long weekend, was drinking, just couldn't sleep. I was up and I was just, sometimes when I can't sleep, because I know Steve, we've talked about this when we were at Woke Hill. I when I can't sleep and my mind's racing, I like go through major winners dating back to as far as I can go. I can easily go back to like 2007, and that's kind of the range I'm working on. And then I opened up my phone, I'm looking at odds, and I was just like, wait, this guy is this price for the Masters this year? Like, this must be a mistake. It's not a mistake. I bet it. This is a generational wealth play. JT Poston is 340 to 1. 340 to 1 to win the Masters this year. That he is the same price as Jason Kokrak and Cameron Champ. Like, JT Poston is a top 40 player in the world. He's won 2 times on the PGA Tour. He's from Georgia. You know, he's inaccurate off the tee. You know, you can get away with that. Great wedge player, great putter. This price is like flat out wrong. Like, JT Poston, he's like 175, 225 to win the Masters. I bet $50 on it to win like $15,000. I'm not even joking. Like, JT Poston can top 5, top 6 at the Masters this year, and 340 to 1 is just an absolutely absurd price.
So I'll say this. You're right. Because when I went through the odds board too, I saw JT Poston was like the same odds like Molinari or something like that. Like, based on what JT Poston's been doing the last like year or so with his ball striking numbers, his strokes gained, that's a egregious price.
He's from Georgia.
What does that mean? It's a big state full of dumb rednecks. What does that mean for anything?
He's from Georgia. Like, he vibes there. He was like top 30 last year. Like,
listen, the 300 to 1 is fine. And listen, after I shamed you for the little Allapucci
Harmon,
the Open, fucking yeah. Listen, I'm not gonna fuck with you.
I'm like very confident in it.
Listen, I agree. It's a bad price on JT Poston. Do I like him at the Masters? Probably not. But I think you have identified a guy who is definitely mispriced. So I'll give you that. Capper, what about you? What's a long shot pick that you like?
I mean, I don't know. I really don't believe a long shot will fucking win, but I guess maybe one more time for fucking Siwoo. I mean, he top 10 with a fucking 3-wood as a putter. He really disappointed me last year, man. I loved the ride of the first or last. Like, I hated his like 30s and 40s last year. I feel like maybe he's getting fat and comfortable in like married life. I don't know. Like, he's not as volatile as he used to be. Maybe I don't know. His wife's keeping him too happy. He needs to make him sleep on the couch or something, get him angry and let him go play. But, 121 for a guy who's competed here, obviously PGA winner, skill set fits. So, yeah, I'll stick with my guys, I guess. What do I went Cam Smith and Siwoo and Tom Kim. So,
there you go. I mean,
Asians have won the Masters. Like, that's a trend.
The what?
Asians have won the Masters.
Asians have won the Masters.
That's a trend.
Yeah,
like,
sure.
You got that going.
Listen, if you're concerned about him getting fat and happy, he no longer has to go to the military either. So that's really going to help his motivation.
Oh, yeah, that motherfucker. Yeah, for real. What a lucky prick. Good for him, man. And good for Tom Kim. Like, that's karma, right? Like, Tom Kim let him fucking win, get on the team and win. So Tom Kim's got some sort of gods fucking looking after him.
I don't think that
wrong guy. That was Sungjae.
Yeah,
Sungjae got it.
And I don't even think Sungjae like let him win. I think they just won as the South Korean team.
That's what I'm saying. So that's what I meant. So Tom Kim, because Siwoo played instead of Tom Kim.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
So Tom let Siwoo take his place.
Yeah. No, that's good. Yeah. So one of them are winning the Masters.
Yes, I would agree.
All right, Matt, what about you? What's a long shot pick you like?
Yeah, I honestly think this guy is going to be fairly popular come Masters time, and that's to hit the Gala guy. People love to bet. Top 10 here in his only appearance last year, and a golf course that fits his game perfectly. Inaccurate off the tee, super creative on and around the greens, and can get hot with the iron. So this is literally Augusta is a great course for him, and obviously a bigger stage than just the golf course. But I think he'll close a lot lower than 80 to 1. So
his odds are 80 right now.
80, yeah.
Yeah, that's plus EV. Like,
yeah,
for sure.
No,
Okay. Yeah. So Hith was going to be my pick for a lot of the reasons I said. So I'll go with something different here. Adam Scott starting to play a little better second half of the year. Obviously a great driver. The iron play starting to play a little better too. Obviously some great success at Augusta National. I don't think he's totally done and cooked yet too. And I think he's hanging around like 100 to 1, 120 to 1. So I'll go with Adam Scott as the long shot pick, who I don't think is cooked. So.
I think he's cooked. And there's nothing more frustrating, as you know, than having money on Adam Scott to watch him fucking push a 4-foot putt right because he stinks and he uses the cheater putter. Fuck Adam Scott.
Okay.
Would you fuck him, Capper?
I mean, maybe. How much money is he going to give me? He's rich. So
that's fair. Like that. I think the money aspect of it makes 90 to 1 on Theegala on FanDuel. That is like red hot plus EV.
Okay.
To me.
All right. How about bonus selection? I'm going to catch you guys off guard. Favorite under 30 to 1 that missed the cut at the Masters.
Oh, that misses the cut?
Yeah.
I mean, Ludwig's winning by like 7. I already bet him at 14 to 1, just because I thought like there was some value there. But he also could miss the cut. So I'll go Ludwig there.
Okay.
Under 30, you said?
Yep. Capper.
I'll go Cam Smith.
Cam Smith. Okay.
Right. I'll go Cantlay.
Okay. I'm going to go Hovland. I'm going to go all the attention.
Is Hovland good at golf?
He is good at listen, he's good at golf, but I think there's going to be so much hype and attention around him this year coming in, and I think he's just going to fall flat on his face. So Hovland would be my pick to miss the cut. All right. Why don't we take an hour break, and then we'll finish off the rest of the 3 majors.
All right. Well, listen, Hall of Fame bets. You got to win bigger by betting smarter this NFL season with Hall of Fame bets, the sports betting analytics platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Research all your favorite sports and you bet with historical stats and data. Enter any parlay idea into Hall of Fame bets revolutionary parlay optimizer tool to get hit rates broken down by leg as well as expected probability for the entire parlay. Sort all players by hit rate for any bet to learn which players are hot and which ones got value. So stop betting in the dark and join over 30,000 researchers researching with Hall of Fame bets to craft more intelligent, data-driven parlays. Download the Hall of Fame bets app or visit HOFBets.com and use promo code SGPN to get 50% off your first month today. Start researching, start winning with Hall of Fame bets.
Okay. So we are going to Valhalla Golf Club for the PGA Championship in May this year. So if you guys listen to the Inside Golf Podcast with Andy Lack and I, we spent a lot of our time making fun of the actual golf club and their just intention to try and shove Southern hospitality in Louisville completely down your throats by renaming all the hole names based on horse racing and bourbon. If you want kind of that shtick, go listen to that. But as far as this golf course goes, I mean, it's not one of my favorites. It's a lot of holes where guys are hitting a lot of the same clubs off every tee box. Guys hitting a lot of the same approach shots. It's Jack Nicklaus. It has not gotten a whole lot of changes since the 2014 PGA Championship to now. They're the only thing they've really changed is they move back a couple tee boxes. But other than that, though, there's a lot of really silly holes. I talked about that in my article this week. One hole in particular, number 7, just a really poorly designed hole. But overall, though, what you want to be looking for this thing, they had a agronomy change. They changed the fairway grasses from bent grass to zoysia. The hope is going to be, if it is in May, the zoysia will play a little firmer, which would benefit this tournament because when it was played in 2014, it was absolutely just rain-soaked and waterlogged. And as soon as the ball hit the turf, it just stopped. The zoysia might help the ball kind of roll a little bit more. Maybe the driving accuracy rates won't be quite as high as what they were in 2014. Maybe a little tougher driving tournament golf course. But overall, though, what you see is what you get at Valhalla. It's Jack Nicklaus. Everything is right out in front of you. It is target golf. It gives you one place to put it. And if you miss, you're probably going to get punished. And if you execute, then it's just on to the next shot there. Obviously, with the Nicklaus golf course, favors a lot of fades. These are bent grass greens, not really a lot of creative, interesting green complexes either. As far as the types of shots you're going to be seeing here, I tracked what Rory and Ricky Fowler did in their final round. Each of them hit 9 drivers in the final round. Each of them hit 5 lesson drivers. And the holes that you would expect them to hit lesson driver, they took an iron and 3-wood. The holes you would actually expect them to hit driver, they took a driver. So a lot of homogeny at this golf course, a lot of longer approach shots too. 5 shots, or actually 9 shots over 200 yards at Valhalla. Most on the par 3s. There are some longer ones there, but some of the par 4s also have forced layups off the tee where you hit just a long approach shot into the green there. Only 3 shots under 150 yards. So to me personally, I think this is going to be one off the tee with your long irons, and that's kind of been what PGA Championships kind of devolved into. So you think about, your Oak Hills, Bethpage Blacks, those types of PGA Championship setups that we've seen recently. I think it's going to favor a lot of those similar types of guys. Of all the major championships, I think this one is the least likely to see a long shot winner unless you have a lot of those particular skill sets. Mainly you're long and you got really good long irons, but it's probably going to significantly reduce the field to maybe 10 to 12 guys who could actually win this thing. And then you got to pick from there. So, Matt, why don't I start with you? So, favorite under 30-1 to win at Valhalla. Who are you picking?
I'm going to go with a guy who has never won a major yet and kind of shows when he's in the moment. Not Patrick Cantlay, Xander Schauffele, his buddy. Just kind of a complete golfer and a guy that's a golf course that's going to test your complete game. Xander does kind of that best. Just pretty straightforward. What you see is what you get, like you said. So I'm going to go with the safe pick, Xander, around 20-1.
Okay. All right, Brian, what about you?
Yeah, so I bet this last summer. I think this is a golfer that I've identified well as to where they kind of play well and what type of courses they play best at. Just given the season he had last year. A guy that I think there's a very good argument that he's the best player in the world right now, and that is Viktor Hovland. I kind of think of Viktor as a guy with his win at Memorial, with his win at BMW, with his runner-up finish at Oak Hill. These are all long, classical golf courses with thick rough, and that rewards long and straight off the tee. And I think that's exactly where Hovland has actually done well. And I think this is a good spot for him. My biggest concern is that recently we've seen a lot of vets win this event. This hasn't been a breakout event. Colin Morikawa obviously won in 2020, but in the past 6 years, 5 of them it wasn't their first major. So I don't really like that aspect for Vic, but I think that, maybe you could look at it as, a first-time winner is due to win, as we've seen before at this event. Your Y Yang, your Jimmy Walker, your Jason Dufter. The PGA used to be the major where the first-time winner would break out. But I think this is a perfect course fit for Hovland, and I feel great about the 22-1 I have. I personally think 15-1 right now is a good bet, and I feel very confident in my Hovland 22-1 ticket at the PGA Championship.
Okay, Capper, what about you?
Yeah, I think that if you got 22-1, you should feel very nice and comfy with that. Like, I feel like it's going to be shorter than 15 by the time it gets around. I love Hovland here for all the reasons you said. The grass, he's great on the Zoysia grass here. It's all signs point to Viktor. He's going to win a major sooner rather than later. This seems exactly where he should win. We all know golf is not easy unless it's fucking Ricky at Detroit Country Club at the Rocket Mortgage. So I'm with you with Hovland. I feel like the number's going to be short. I would not hesitate to bet the 15-1, 16-1, whatever you have right now, because if he's even remotely trending in the right direction, he's going to be 8 to 10-1 by the time he gets there.
Okay. All right. I can't really dispute Hovland. It's a fine pick for obviously everything that Kirsten said there. Same thing with Xander too. Great driver, great long iron player. It's really going to play well here. I'm going to go with Jon Rahm just because, listen, there's a lot of low
trader.
I know it's a trader.
Saudi.
Oh,
listen, we're going to have 2 live guys win the first 2 majors and bring the PGA to his knees.
Let's go. Look, burn down.
So obviously you got Jack Nicklaus connections, right? Rahm is a confirmed one-time winner of the Memorial. And, to some people, he won twice. So there you go there.
He did win fucking twice, too.
He did. And then COVID.
Yeah, the Libs took it away from him.
Goddamn Libs.
He did. I mean, if you want to talk about, like, your Oak Hills, obviously didn't go well there, but, like, talk about, like, golfers like Torrey Pine, long and straight, narrow, thick, rough. I mean, Rahm is pretty good at that type of golf course there too. Favors a fade. Rahm hits a lot of fades, long and straight off the tee. Tremendous long iron player, complete game there. Good bent grass putter. And again, I just think when you get to a tournament where everyone's going to be hitting the same shots on every single hole, everyone hits the same approach shots, it's just going to come down to basically who's the best in the field. And Rahm is, obviously one of the best players in the world. So gun to my head right now, given everything that kind of is lined up for him right there, I'll just take Rahm to win the PGA Championship. I don't love the fact that he seems to not like the PGA of America. The only good performance I've seen him do well at the PGA Championship is about Bellerive, but I think that actually kind of fits. Bellerive, I think, is kind of similar to what we're going to see at Valhalla. So I'll go with Rahm to win it. All right. Capper, why don't we go to you? What's a guy right now on the odds board that you think will not be there by the time we get to the PGA Championship that you think can actually win this thing?
So I guess just because I don't think he'll be there, he has such a strong correlation with Nicklaus Golf Course. Morikawa at 28. I mean, everybody shits on him like he had a terrible fucking year. And I guess technically he did, but that's what I'm saying. Like, he didn't really have a bad year. So, yeah. I mean, 28-1, he should be higher on the odds board than Cantlay and Xander, no question. So yeah, I guess 28-1 is more than fair. I see it 32 at one spot too. So I think that's more than fair for fucking Morikawa with his history at these type of golf courses. I don't know, what the hell did he do at Oak Hill last year? Like, was he? I can't.
It wasn't great, but what I will say about the PGA, like versus the U.S. Open, I think he obviously has a better chance to win the PGA. Like, yes, I hesitate with guys that are a little bit shorter at the U.S. Open, but yeah, me too. I think the PGA 28-1 is a good bet. Honestly, I think like fucking 7 guys can win the PGA. Like, you can kind of make a case for anybody at this course.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, listen, I like it. And Kyle says he can find a Kyle at 33-1. I love that. 33-1 at 365. You guys have access to it, go grab it.
Okay. All right, Matt, how about you?
Yeah, I'm going to go with a major winner who has won at a classical golf course before, and I think he will win another major in the next year and a half, 2 years, and I'm probably higher on him than most. That's Matt Fitzpatrick at 40-1. He's getting better by the season, it seems like, and once he gets that iron play going, which he has been, it's solid. So I'm going to go with Matt Fitz.
Okay. Kirscher, how about you?
So I bet, just for the sake of the show, I bet a Bryson 66 over the summer. Mm-hmm. I personally, think Bryson is easily, without a doubt, a top 7 golfer in the world. Right now, I think he's truly unbelievable, and I think he is the biggest person on LIV that I think his talent is maybe a little bit like underjudged and understated, just how actually good at golf he is, because he can hit a 320 in the center of the fairway every single time. He's a great iron player and he's a great putter as well. The number on him right now at 36-1 isn't great. And I think the LIV guys' odds are way less likely to fluctuate. But again, I can see him winning multiple times before the PGA Championship at fucking LIV Las Vegas or LIV Bangkok. So I think his odds will go down. And just for the sake of the show, I'll say Bryson here. Even though I don't think 36-1 is a great number.
Okay. Yeah, I don't mind that pick. I think the only thing for me is just seeing him booted around the Memorial a bunch of times and him going to a Nicklaus golf course. That's the one thing. I don't know exactly how Pino's going to be off the tee at this place. So if he just is spraying it. But there's a Max Homa 46-1 on him.
Love
and
it.
I'm just thinking like it's in May and his beginning of the season. So you got Riviera, Torrey Pines, you have Quail Hollow thrown in there. You'll have a lot of golf courses where Max Homa can clip off another win. So that number might not be there. And, riding the momentum from the Ryder Cup, as the best player, the only guy to really show up for the U.S. Team that week. He also finally got he wasn't in the mix of the Open, but he actually put together 4 solid rounds at that point at a tournament I didn't really expect him to actually do much at. So the fact that, he finally got that top 10 at a major championship, it's a golf course where he's been, the last 6 months has been excellent off the tee. He's got an improving iron game too, especially from long distance. Hits a fade as well. Couple top 10s at the Memorial. So there's some Jack Nicklaus connections there. At 46-1, I mean, if Homa wins something within the first 3 months, that number's not going to be there. And I think he actually does stand a good shot to win the PGA based on his skill sets.
I love it. Like I truly think I'm not someone that just blindly bet someone at every major, but I personally think at his current age, Max Homa is a great bet just to blindly bet right now at every single major, because I truly think he will win a major this year. And I think that, and also his odds are just very attractive right now, being a top 10 player in the world and someone that will win a major in his career. So I personally love it.
Yeah, I mean, if you win Riviera, you win Torrey Pines, you win Quail Hollow, you win a major championship venue, especially something like this is very straightforward, narrow, like exactly like those places. So if he can do it there, he can do it here. So, all right, long shot pick. Kirshen, let's swing it back to you. What's a guy?
So I actually really like this pick, and my kind of juices are flowing getting back into the golf season. First round leaders, like it's getting me riled up. So this is a guy that I think is on the first round leader card for every single major this season. I think is a golfer that's very talented, extremely talented, in my opinion, top 30 player in the world, knows how to win. Ryan Fox, 190-1 PGA Championship. I love it. I might bet it just because I want to bet all the long shots on this show, because I genuinely really think that he has a chance to contend and top 5 in a major. And at 190-1, I mean, this is a guy that's won the toughest field on the DP World Tour. He's extremely long off the tee. He mixed at Oak Hill last year. Ryan Fox is mispriced at 190-1. I like it with an each way, obviously, but he is my favorite long shot at the PGA Championship this year.
Yeah, I got a Ryan Fox take coming later too, so I like that call. Brian.
Yeah, no, Foxy at the majors, he's gonna do something.
Barhoff has poisoned your guys' brains.
I don't even think he's a Foxy guy. Like, I don't know if he's a Fox guy.
He's a good Ryan Fox, good player.
He's good at golf.
I like that pick. I like it. All right, Capper, what about you?
So I was initially just going to stay on brand and go Keegan, but you brought up live guys. What about Mito?
Yeah. I mean, he'll probably get an. I mean, he's not in right now, but he'll get an invite because the PGA of America invites like 50 guys to fill out their field.
And man, like he was on the right trajectory up until fucking 18 at wherever Whitey Bulger killed that guy in Oklahoma. It was actually John Monterano who pulled the trigger, not Whitey Bulger. He just ordered it. But man, like that swing is still just sticks in my brain as one of the most painful fucking moments that I've witnessed in golf. Like the guy just lit himself on fire. But listen, his skill set should fit here. Like you said, the problem with live guys, we have no idea what's coming in. We got no strokes gained data. But listen, 150-1, his pedigree and how he should be is way better than fucking half to 75% of the guys below him. So 150-1, I'll roll with Mito instead of Keegan. Keegan's already won a PGA. So
okay. All right, Matt, how about you?
All right, so last year we saw a talented golfer who was really good off the tee and really good at putting figure his irons out and win a major. So I'm going to go that same route and bet a more talented golfer, a younger golfer in Minwoo Lee, who is super talented off the tee, super talented on and around the greens, but has a problem with his irons. And I'm not saying he's going to figure out, but we've seen the blueprint of guys with that narrative figure that part of their game out. So Minwoo Lee has all the talent in the world. Can he figure out his irons? Sure. So at 80-1, I'm down.
Okay. All right. Capper mentioned one Chilean that he liked. I'll mention the other Chilean who I have a lot of respect for. Joaquin Niemann, 80-1, just premier driver, great long iron player, just won, down in Australia here. And I just think his raw talent, I think he's got a high ceiling. He hasn't really put together in majors, but I think with all the talent in the world that kid possesses, there's no reason why he can't do well, not just this golf course, but a lot of major venues. So I'll go with Joaquin Niemann, 80-1 there.
Love it.
Okay. All right, let's move on to Pinehurst. So this was the scene of the 2014 U.S. Open. This got a renovation from Corin Crenshaw, and I think around 2010. This was a Tom Fazio. Basically, it was originally Donald Ross. Had a couple iterations over the years. The last one was from Tom Fazio. Basically, he made it narrow and a lot of rough. And Corin Crenshaw said, let's turn back the clock. Let's make it what it was. So basically what they did was they restored all the fairways to its original widths, 40, 50 yards wide. And off the fairways, you got sandy waste areas. And if you hit it into it, if you watch the 2014 U.S. Open, you can see a lot of this where, sometimes you'll hit it in the area and you're in a little bush and you got to take a penalty stroke, and that is. Or, you can be like Eric Compton on hole number 1, just completely whiff it all the way to the right. And you, lo and behold, you get up to your ball. It's on a nice little sand patch there, kind of teed up, and so you're just fine there. So you're playing a little bit of luck, if you miss a fairway. But because it's 40, 50-yard wide fairways, you're not missing a whole lot of fairways there. I think the drive actually rate was about 68, 70% that week. Now, it played really firm back in 2014. One of the things the USGA has been saying for this tournament, they want to maybe make it a little greener this time around. I think maybe they don't want Donald Trump, the original golf course sucks guy on Twitter, saying this golf course looks like a cow pasture in my public uni. So maybe they'll want to appease him and actually make it a little greener. But if it does play as firm as fast, I think it's going to be a very fun golf course. I think of the other 3 majors besides Augusta National, this is by far the best golf course you're going to go to. Now, the one thing I actually was wondering, because 2014, all I remember really back then was it was a complete runaway. Martin Keimer put it away on Friday. Nothing really else mattered at that point. But I remember just hearing about Pinehurst and, what people say about it. You got to have a lot of shots around the green, basically, because these greens are really slick. They're turtle back. There's a lot of runoffs. And there's a lot of really weird areas you can end up in. Like, so for example, you got to be able to take it upstairs if you have to, or you got to do a bump and run, or maybe you can pull putter sometimes. So when I was handicapping this tournament, looking at it originally, I was just assuming, okay, well, these guys, probably most of the guys in the top 10 were just really good around the green, really creative, kind of like an Augusta National type vibe. Well, when you actually dig into it, all those guys pretty much sucked around the green heading in. The average strokes gained around the green breaking for all those guys in the top 10, your Keimers, Keegan Bradley's, DJ, all those guys, was 114 heading into that tournament. And I started thinking, why was this? Well, one thing they mentioned on the telecast, and specifically they talk about Martin Keimer, is that because there's shaved areas around the greens, if you're in the right spot, you can putt from off the green from pretty much anywhere. Kind of like what you can at TPC Sawgrass a little bit, where, there's a lot of low, runoffs, but you can putt from off the green. You don't have to actually, hit a wedge off it like at some other places. And another thing too is good approach shots are really rewarded at Pinehurst, and bad approach shots are really not rewarded. So that tended to favor a lot of better iron players, which most of that top 10 was. And for example, on hole number, I think 8, it was a 175-yard par 3 back in 2014. Within 2 groups, you had Graham McDowell step up, and how you want to attack the hole that day. Basically, there was a sideboard over on the left, and you want to hit it over to that area, and then if you hit it right to the right distance, it would funnel back towards the hole. Well, Graham McDowell hit it about 172 yards, little too far left, and the ball rolled all the way off the green. And then Zach Johnson came a couple groups later, hit it about 176, a little closer, still about 20 feet from the pin. It rolled in for an ace. And you see a lot of that at Pinehurst where, you got to be precise with your irons. It's very small targets. Henrik Stenson on his opening hole hit it to within 10 feet, and the ball ended up rolling off the green. So it really turned into more of an iron contest instead of an around the green contest. And what I noticed with a lot of those guys coming into Pinehurst was guys that were trending really well with their irons tend to do the best of week. So Eric Compton, surprise of everybody. He was actually hitting his irons really good that year. Same with Martin Keimer. DJ was starting to hit his irons a lot better. Keegan, obviously, really good ball striker. So, I think one of the narratives might be just because people play Pinehurst a lot and they might say, well, you got to be really good around the green. It's really going to come down to, how good you are with your irons. Can you avoid getting those areas? Because how often are you actually like practicing some of those shots around the green? Like how often are you shipping off a tight Bermuda, doing bump and runs, all this stuff? And watching back in 2014, like if you missed a green, it was really difficult. I saw a lot of guys blade chip shots, even really good scramblers too. So as far as what you actually are doing, it's the club choices, a lot of driver, obviously really wide fairways. Everything's pretty right on front of you too. So Martin Keimer hit 12 drivers in the final round, only 2 less than driver. As far as proximity shots, back then, I mean, it was 7,500 yards. The guys were a lot shorter then. I think probably half your shots are going to come from over 175, but, about 7 shots between 125 and 175, especially if it plays firm. So you got to have a lot of diverse skill sets in the bag. You got to be comfortable hitting driver a lot too. So for my picks, it's mostly guys who are comfortable hitting driver, pretty good iron players. I don't really care about how they do around the green because obviously in 2014 it didn't really matter. I'm not saying that's a negative. Like if you want to pick a guy who's really good around the green, like I think a Reed or a Cam Smith can do well here for obvious reasons, but it doesn't exclude you out basically. So that was kind of what I was looking for with Pinehurst this year. So Matt, how about I throw it to you? How about a guy under 30-1 that you like to win the U.S. Open at Pinehurst?
So I'm going to go with a guy who is going to be uber popular at the PGA Championship. I'm hearing it from outside of just this circle here. Victor Hovland is going to be very popular at the PGA. Simple flop lag, ball striking. I can totally see him not flaming out, but just not winning the PGA Championship. And people are like, not Jones going to go back to him right away. And him winning the U.S. Open. You mentioned the ball striking more important than around the greens, and I totally agree with you at this golf course. So we know how well Victor does that, and he does kind of struggle with chipping, and that kind of feeds into what you were just saying. So Victor at 20-1, throw in the flop leg because I think he's going to be very popular. So I'm going to do that.
Strokes gained, first time major winner.
Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly.
All right, Kirshner, what about you?
Yeah, so I think the U.S. Open over the past couple of years has been very predictable. And it's kind of been like, oh, we've had all these different courses and a straight up bomber has won. And it didn't really matter the course. In my opinion, in 2024, you have to be a bomber to win the U.S. Open. And you also have to be a first time major winner. I think going back to 2000, like I think 15 of the last 23 have been first-time major winners at the U.S. Open. So I really like that trend. It's not really a vet winner like the PGA Championship has been. And, I think the last 2 U.S. Open winners are very telling. They are both guys that their biggest strength is off the tee. They're 2 guys that were known as losers going into their season. Guys that, you just wouldn't expect to actually win a U.S. Open, but had unbelievable years, kind of breakout years. So a guy that fits all of that for me, and I think is capable of winning a major is Cam Young at 50-1. Do I think Cam Young sucks? Yes. Do I think that, he's a loser that just fired his caddy? Yes. I don't think he's going to win. I'm not betting it right now. I have the winner for this event, by the way, but I think he just fits all of the trends that I've kind of really liked for this event. Bomber, first time major winner, loser that hasn't broken out yet. So I like Cam Young.
All right, you guys are killing me. Matt Hovland is going to be my pick for under 30-1. Brian, Young.
You got to start going first then. You got to start going first.
Listen, I like putting our guests out first. I mean, that's what we do as hosts of this show. So now I got to think about two replacement guys I should make a case for in about a minute because Capper, you're going to take a minute to do your thing, and then I got to talk. So
mine is mine for every reason that BK said Cam Young. We're forgetting about the biggest loser who was a great all-around golfer.
Rory?
Who has not won a major. Xander. Xander has not won a major. He's a great all-around golfer. He is fucking long off the tee. No one's going to be on him. His odds, I think, are like shorter than 20 on this one versus the 28 at PGA. This should fit Xander. And Xander is softer than baby shit. Like, horrible. Like, I'm not a Xander guy. Like, I wasn't, then I kind of was. Now I'm definitely back off. But I just think everything for the trends wise fits him. Like, it really does. Like, I think Xander could absolutely do this. He's a jack of all trades. He's not the best at any one thing, but he is good or great at everything. And I really think I really think Xander is a great pick for this course.
Okay. All right. Well, since Xander is going to be my backup pick, then I'm just going to say Holland's going to win the U.S. Open.
All right.
He's gonna bomb out at least one of the Masters or the PGA. Everyone's got the high expectations. He's gonna get off them. Maybe he flames out at Memorial defending that tournament. But listen, like, obviously a great ball striker. He's been improved around the green, but hasn't been still not his forte. But I think of it in places like Concession or TPC Sawgrass with tight lies around the green where he can putt, where people were like, all right, well, can he actually do it? And I think the U.S. Open, where maybe he gets a little steam off him, that's where he's going to get his first major. So,
and it's strokes gained first time major winner, and he's a bomber. Like, I understand it, and I feel like I need to have it because it makes more sense because he's a first time major winner and bomber, and he sucks around the green.
Yep, there you go. All right, let's go to Capper first. What's a guy you think is going to have better odds by the time we get to the major or get to the U.S. Open than what they are right now?
DJ.
Yeah. So that's an interesting pick. What's
interesting
your case there?
So I think DJ is going to end up having longer odds. Like, he just is. Like, he doesn't. Everybody here knows he does not give a shit. Like, he is perfectly happy with his life, with his yachts and Paulina and the kids and all his toys and all that shit.
Wait, longer odds or shorter odds?
He's going to have longer odds. He's at 28 right.
No, short.
Yeah. Oh,
shorter
okay,
odds.
My bad.
My bad.
Yeah. So no. Then my dog's going nuts too.
Okay.
That's the correct take though. That's the correct take though. What you said. I think so. I guess I'll just go to my value pick for DJ. Like, I feel like he's going to fall a little bit down the board, and all the reasons that, like, I liked him up at Oak Hill, and the other, like, I can just close my eyes and I can picture DJ strutting down the fucking fairway after just knocking the piss out of the ball, not giving a shit, being able to drain those putts. Like, DJ's got one coming this year. I really feel like that's the case. I feel like maybe these live guys are going to start pushing each other a little bit between Brooks, DJ, Cam Smith. Like, I feel like these guys are going to start, and Rahm especially. Like, I feel like it's going to heighten the competition of these guys because, listen, they're all alpha dogs. They might have took the money and they're fat, dumb, and happy now, but I'm a shit golfer, and I go out with my buddies, and there's fucking $20 on the line or some sort of pride on the line. My competitive streak kicks up. Like, I am ridiculously competitive, and these guys are that times fucking 100. So I think they bring Rahm over, and Brooks starts to get some steam in the beginning of the year, and they're starting to put together some good performances in majors. DJ is the type of guy who can come out and just mushroom print everybody in the fucking field and go take the U.S. Open. I really feel that.
Okay. All right, Matt, how about you? What's the value pick right now?
Exactly what you guys said about the PGA Championship, about Max Homa. I second. I think he gets a win earlier in the season, but we're in North Carolina. He's won here before. He's won in Maryland as well. He knows this part of the country. He plays well in this part of the country. So but like I said, what you guys said before, everything. He's gonna win early. He's 40-1 here. So, like, why not? So I agree with you guys there too. Like, I'm down, but I just went with this one because it's in North Carolina.
Yeah, I fully agree. Okay.
Yeah, I think Homa's a good pick. Solid case there. All right, Kirshen, what about you?
Long shot?
Value play.
Cam Young. I think it'll be lower. I think.
Okay. All right. So that was your favorite to win, and then your value pick. Okay. All right. So yeah, I mean, Cam Young was going to be my value pick because, unlike what my co-host said here,
he's never going to win.
But if he does win, he's not going to be. He's not going to be at this price. If he does win, he's not going to be the price. If he does well at the PGA or the Masters, he's not going to be at this price either because, listen, he's done well a lot of majors. People are like, okay, they're getting excited for him. And listen, he's going to hit a lot of drivers, and he's already done well at a golf, at a major with a lot of some wider fairways too, with Southern Hills too, with some runoffs as well. But since Kirschner already made the case for Cam Young, I'll go with Minwoo Lee here. That's my backup. So,
right.
I mean, obviously the iron play leaves a lot to be desired, but if I see him trending with the iron play, I'll be a little more amenable with it because he has everything else that I'm looking for the U.S. Open winner. Really long off the tee. I mean, look, like I said that, has to be really good around the green here, but he has to be pretty good in that area. So I'm not going to knock him for it. So if I see improved iron play from him, and I think given his talent, what he's been doing this fall, he definitely could, go out and win one of these PGA Tour events. He might be someone at 80-1 that might be a lot lower, especially because he's a popular guy, probably more around like maybe 50, 55-1 by the time we get the U.S. Open. So, all right, what about a long shot pick? Kirschner, what about you, buddy?
Yeah, so like doing this is the pick that I feel most confident in, and this is the most like calling your shot. Like I think this could be a real memorable one for me. But I think to fully, grasp this pick, you have to think about who Wyndham Clark was last summer. Wyndham Clark was top 120 in the world. He was like ranked 125th in the world. This is a guy that was like 80-90-1 in dog shit fields. This was not a good golfer, and he's the reigning U.S. Open champion. So, and he just elevated himself this year, and he's a bomber, and he's a good putter. So, like, that's kind of the vibe I'm going with. It's not an unbelievable number, to be honest, but my favorite pick of this whole major cycle, Cam Davis, 150-1 at the U.S. Open. It is a bomber. It is no, we're betting it like it's a fucking unbelievable pick. Bomber, loser, like never really won on the PGA Tour, can absolutely elevate his game. Cam Davis is a really good golfer. He has a ceiling of top 20 player in the world. If Wyndham Clark can do it, he is a better golfer than Wyndham Clark was last year. Strokes gained Australia at Pinehurst. He played well this summer. Like, this is a guy that made it to BMW. He was close to the Tour Championship. He played well in the fall. I love this pick. Love this pick, Cam Davis, 150-1.
All right, I'm going to jump in here because you guys have been all taking my picks. I haven't really have to like give it.
Really?
Did you like Cam?
Cam Davis, my favorite pick, over 100-1. So for all the reasons you said,
if you said Cam Davis, I would have freaked out.
He's a loser, but I think his ceiling is a lot higher than what it is. He's shown flashes of really good iron play, so if that's trending coming in, that works. Obviously, you got the firm and fast Australian connection, long off the tee. I think that's a guy who he had kind of like what I talk about with Joaquin Niemann. Like, there's no reason with his skill sets he can't do well at major championships. So, and he was just kind of in the mix at Oak Hill.
Yes,
got that little major experience up towards the top of the leaderboard out of his system. Sometimes that follows like a win after that. So I will co-sign Cam Davis 150-1.
God, I'm hyped.
Love that.
All right, Capper, what about you?
So I was torn between two losers as well. I do like the Cam Davis one. Maybe I can get behind that one.
Okay.
I think I'm going to go Woodland.
So here's the thing. And again, no beef. But you have to think of some golfers as like they're one major guys. Gary Woodland is
I know.
of a one major guy.
I know.
Yeah.
All right, fine. You know what? You're 100% right. There's no way Woodland is a two-time fucking major winner. I'll go with the other loser I was going to go with in Keith Mitchell. Absolute bomber. Pedigree of a golfer. I dig his post games. I don't know. I mean, listen, you can do a hell of a lot worse for 125-1. You got Berger down there, Harmon down there, Hoagie. Like, listen, Mitchell can bomb it and he can get hot, man. He went toe to toe with fucking Rahm and almost dug it out. So, Yeah, I think Mitchell at 125 to 1 is better than Woodland. Thank you, Brian. Thank you.
Okay. All right, Matt, how about you?
All right, so I'm going to put this out there, and there is absolutely no reason that this guy should be 130 to 1 ahead of Mito, Russell Henley, all the guys you're naming. Like, these are bad odds, but the books know. You play Taylor Moore in red states.
Ooh.
He has not had a finish worse than 22nd in North Carolina in his career.
Isn't North Carolina a purple state now? Can it go
North
back?
North Carolina has voted Republican since 1980.
Kind of weird now. Okay.
So we are. I did hear that though, but it's a simple handicap, and everyone knows it. You play Taylor Moore in red state. Just scroll on his Twitter one time, and you don't got to go any further than that. So we're gonna lock that in now.
And again, like I said, if Wyndham Clark can win the U.S. Open, anybody can win the U.S. Open. Like I don't think
he's
realize
he's one of the red state conspiracy guys too, isn't he?
What?
Isn't Wyndham one of the red state conspiracy guys too?
Oh, he's a huge red state guy.
Yeah, like Jan 6 guy.
Yeah. But like I don't think people realize how inconceivable it is if you said in January of 2022 that Wyndham Clark was going to win the U.S. Open.
No.
Like it's the same as all these guys.
Well, I think that's a good transition to the next one because if Brian Harman can win an Open, I think anybody can win an Open.
I had him.
Brian, you did.
Had him.
Kudos to you. And you apparently are the Open whisperer because you had Cam Smith at St. Andrews.
Yeah.
And you
my
had
ROI at the Open Championship is insane.
It's pretty good. And despite some mushing, I think, from my co-host here, and maybe you took a little bit on Twitter too, you were dodging some stuff with Brian Harman.
I don't think Catherine mushed it.
I didn't mush him.
You might have, but
you might have. So, anyways,
but let's not forget that Gannon had Jason Day at 90 to 1, and he finished second, which was almost as impressive.
That's a good call.
So, and we had a head-to-head matchup on those two, which was even more wild.
You could.
And if I was going to mush Brian, it would be directly to Brian. It certainly wouldn't be on Twitter.
I think you actually sent a message to him, and Brian was not so happy about that.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. But he was like fucking 6 strokes up with like 3 holes to go, and he was being like my type.
Yeah, that's fair. Like, that's fair, but still, you understand.
Okay,
you have bills to pay.
Anyways, so we're going to Royal Troon, and obviously but this is an Open that's near and dear to my heart.
I don't know shit about this golf course. Not a fucking.
Oh, I'm about to tell you. So my boy Henrik Stenson won. I had him at 40 to 1 that year. One of the OG original, major wins for me.
He had him.
I had him way back in the day. But what was great about that win was because everybody was pulling behind Phil. He was the crowd favorite. Everybody wanted him to win, and no one wanted Henrik Stenson to win. As a huge Henrik Stenson stand, I've seen so many Sunday collapses from that motherfucker that as soon as he 3-putted the first hole, I'm like, well, this is a wrap. Like, Phil's going to win by 6. And for whatever reason, he just kept hitting putts. So one of my favorite majors, at least in hindsight, not a great golf course as I re-reviewed it, but I think one of the things to keep in mind, obviously with the Open Championship, trying to handicap that right now, difficult. This is a good example of it. Half the field was completely wiped out based on a wave split. I think Billy Horschel went 68-80.
Checks out
between the first and second day, and actually it created the original Hackgate, where by the end of this round he was completely in don't give a fuck mode. Turned his hat backwards, and that people just lost their mind on golf.
People
back when I was on Twitter, at that point people lost their mind with that. But it's also a tough one to handicap just looking in hindsight because, well, it was a 2-horse race. What's really to get from it? There was no strokes gained. So, but looking back at the footage, there's a couple of things you can basically look for. I mean, this is a golf course that, back then it was short. They've lengthened it a little bit. They've added some tee boxes. So I'm going to estimate they're adding about 150 yards in length. It's going to play about 7,300 yards, about what the last couple Open Championships have been, last couple of years. But this is a golf course where it does discourage you from pulling driver. And it's for a couple of reasons. Number one, kind of like at Royal Liverpool last year, if you are in these pop bunkers, it's a 1-stroke penalty. And all of them funnel towards it. So it's really important to kind of tiptoe your way around the golf course around these pop bunkers. That actually explains a lot of the tee shot selections for these guys. There's also a lot of gorse, a lot more than Royal Liverpool, especially towards the back half of this property. And it's on both sides, so it's really close to the fairway. Boston Capper, your boy Thomas Peters, one of his best gifts in his history, one of his best club snaps in history, fired 2 in the gorse off the tee, and then he took a drop, hit it his 5th shot, snapped his club immediately, threw both into the gorse, and then the ball actually rolled to about 10 feet.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it was great.
Rom-like move.
Exactly.
That fucking cocksucker.
But gorse is definitely all over. And I think just because it was really rainy that year, whatever rough they had off the fairway, it was nasty. It was thick. It was just really just, it was a different grass, I think, that I've really seen there. So you didn't really want to beat it. It wasn't like the wispy stuff you see at like St. Andrews or anything. So looking at what Stenson filled in the final round, obviously Stenson uses 3-wood almost everywhere. So him using 3-wood a lot kind of fits. But Phil, back, this is when he wasn't using driver a whole lot. He still only pulled driver 5 times out of 14 par 4s and 4s and 5s. Pulled 3-wood twice, 7 tee shots with iron though. And that's identical as Stenson. It was a lot of positional golf, a lot of tiptoeing. And as far as the type of approach as they had in the greens, it was mostly pretty much through the bag. I'm estimating they're going to hit about 6 shots from under 150, 7 from between 150 and 200, and 5 shots from over 200. So got to have a complete iron game. This is not going to be huge driver tests. It's going to be kind of like, you got to think a little differently. It's not going to be, like a sprint race. It's going to be kind of more like a marathon, go grinder. That's kind of be, the type of golfer I'm kind of looking for to win this Open. And obviously it depends on the weather too. So, Capper, when we start with you.
No, why don't we start with you? I don't know.
Wait, can I ask Steve some questions?
Yeah, I want to know.
Ask away.
So, because again, like, as people know, I'm a golf sicko, and I always look at, recent results and shit. So Stenson, his, at least on Fantasy National, his 2 starts before the Open were a miscut at the Players and a miscut at the Wells Fargo. Was he in good form on like the Euro Tour leading in?
Yeah, I think he won in maybe the Scandinavian event.
Okay.
Yeah, he started to play a lot better. And if you go to Data Golf, like he'll have all his results there. They have the Euro Tour stuff. Yeah, he was playing a lot better. His iron game was definitely trending, and actually he started to get a hot putter coming in too. He started to putt a lot better.
All right, so that fits into kind of my overall thoughts. And the other thing that I see on Fantasy National, and this is something I'm kind of a sicko for, is like, how many strokes gain did a golfer gain when they actually won the tournament? Because, again, as you know, like 15 to 18 is like very good. That's like you actually won, and that's like a really good win. 15 to 18. It's saying he gained 28 strokes to the field. Is that real?
Oh, yeah, it's real. I mean, so
is that the greatest win in PGA Tour history, gaining 28 strokes to the field? Like, what did in the modern strokes gain era, 28 strokes to the field?
I mean, I would probably say Tiger at Pebble,
but they didn't have strokes gained.
Well, you could still calculate total strokes gained. It's just whatever your difference between the average score and what you did. So they just didn't have it by category.
But 28 strokes to the field is fucking bananas.
Oh, it's huge. So Stenson finished 20 under. Phil Mickelson finished 17 under. Do you guys know who finished third in 2016?
JB Holmes.
JB Holmes is 6 under.
Oh, the fucking human goddamn rainbow.
Steve Stricker -5, Rory -4, Hatton -4, Sergio -4, Beef Johnston. This was his coming out party -3. So, yeah.
How old was Hatton when he finished 4th? He was like a young buck.
Yeah, he was a young guy back then. So that's the problem with trying to look at this tournament is you have 2 guys who just completely separated, which really entertaining weekend, by the way, when they were just focused on those guys. And both those guys were playing awesome. But it was really just everybody else at that point. So, but yeah.
You can't take away from 20 that year because of the weather.
No, you can't. You can really only look at what club choice selections they have and what types of shots they're going to hit. And it did seem like if you did miss greens at this place, like there's a lot of runoff areas. Obviously, don't be a pop bunker. So, and one thing I know, like Stenson and Phil were just hitting a ton of greens that week. I think this is what really separated them, even with like some, they didn't have the best weather like on the weekend, but they were still playing great. So that's really going to kind of come down to is just, solid iron game through the bag. Don't have to rely on the driver a whole lot. Conservative, plotting, those types of guys. So you guys want me to go first?
Yeah. Go. So conservative, plotting.
Harmon.
Fuck Harmon. That
Yes,
give me
Harmon.
that cocksucker actually won a fucking major.
Harmon
By 6.
back-to-back.
By 6, by the
By
way.
six.
By 6.
Yeah, I get it. BK, I know you're happy with the fucking money in your bank account, but you can't possibly be happy that Brian Harmon won the fucking Open.
He has the same name as me. He's the greatest Brian athlete of all time.
He said what?
He has the same name as me. He is the greatest Brian athlete of all time. Why wouldn't I root for the success of another Brian?
Because that's a really stupid reason to root for somebody.
Okay, like
Okay.
go.
All right.
And
Look,
I now I'm gonna have to think about it. There's no way Brian Harmon is the best athlete with the name Brian.
Fucking name.
Fuck, Brian Boitano is a better athlete than fucking Brian Harmon.
Did he
You know
win a
who that
major
is?
by 6 strokes?
Do you know who Brian Boitano even is?
No, and he sucks then.
He's a goddamn figure skater who's a better athlete than fucking Brian Harmon.
How do you know figure skating?
What do you mean? I grew up watching the Winter Olympics because when I was a kid, we had 4 fucking channels, and the Olympics is the only thing you worried about. It's fucking amazing.
okay. Anyways, if we're trying to handicap right now, not knowing what the weather is going to be, I'm basically just gravitating towards a guy who's been really good in a lot of different types of opens. A guy who, if you don't have to rely on driver a whole lot, because I don't have a lot of confidence with the driver a lot because he can get squirrely. If he's trending really well with the irons, getting hot there, which I've seen him do a couple years ago ahead of St. George, where he almost won. Speed's 25-1, just because I know he's adaptable at different type of opens. I think he's going to win another Claire Jug at some point. So I'll take him with a gun to my head right now. But there's better guys I like down the board at this point.
Okay.
So, Kirshner, why don't we go to you? Who's one guy under 30-1 you like?
Yeah, I mean he's not under 30-1. But I like Homa. Again, like I said, I think that he's gonna win a major this year. I think 40-1 is a really good price. Top 10 at the Open last year. He's a great driver, and I think that this course doesn't, necessarily make you an unbelievable driver. But again, I don't want to go on an aside, but again, I put a lot of work into who win majors and shit like that. And there's no way we can know it now, but a lot of guys that win the majors that are like longer shots that are not, top 10 players in the world just came in unbelievably hot form. So I think that's something to definitely look out for. And it happened again with Harmon. It's just mid-tier guys that are in unbelievable form. Zach Johnson, kind of a random major winner. 6th at the Travelers, 3rd at the John Deere before he won. Francesco Molinari won the Quicken Loans by like 8. 2nd at the John Deere, won the Open. Even Lowry, 3rd at the Heritage, 8th at the PGA, 2nd at the Canadian Open, 28th at the US Open, and then won the Open. So I think that's just something to look out for, is that a lot of these mid-tier guys that win are just in great form, even though they might be someone you might not think are, unbelievable players, one-time major winners, as I like to call them. So that's just a trend I would like to point out.
So basically, you should pay attention to lots of the Travelers, Rocket Mortgage, John Deere, Scottish Open heading.
Yeah, like someone just coming in with unbelievably hot form that might not be unbelievable at golf. Like just
That's fair
to win.
That's fair. So, Capper, what about you?
What about Terrell? He's a grinder.
Okay.
Why not? I mean, he should be a major winner, right? Like if you think of Terrell Hatton, like he should be a major guy.
He's never even won on the PGA Tour. He has, but not.
He has. He won Bay Hill.
But it wasn't real.
But you fucking just backed Tommy Fleetwood.
I had him 35-1 that week.
No, I didn't. No, I did not. I said that his odds would be lower.
My bank account says it was real. I had Hatton that week, so
You had him?
Exactly.
Yeah, at Bay Hill, yeah. And then COVID hit, and then like the world went to shit.
What were his odds that week?
I think I'm at 35 that week.
Okay.
Yeah. So
yeah.
All right,
Either
so
way,
you-
fucking
that's
Hatton's
my
a
hat.
grinder. Fucking wins over on Euro Tour all the time. Yeah, I can see him being a major winner. Fucking Brian Harmon can win. Anybody can goddamn win.
Okay. Can I call it my shot right now? I think Hatton's gonna be the most popular major pick for this one.
Really?
In July. Yeah, because he
I
top
love
10
Jesse
there.
Lipstick.
Top 10 there in 2016. Everybody loves a Manhattan. And, I think he's probably going to think Pinehurst is too unfair for him. And he's got no shot at Valhalla. And so people are like, all right, well, Had's going to be my pick for this one.
All right.
So, all right. Matt, what about you?
All right, I'm going to go with a golfer that the masses have officially confirmed cannot win again. That's Rory McIlroy, the shortest guy. I'm going to go with 10-1. T5 here last year. Love these conditions. Yeah, I'm going to go with Rory's. Pretty simple handicap.
Okay. All right. Capper, why don't we throw it to you? What's a value pick? A guy you think won't be at his current odds by the time we get the Open?
So I was going to go Lowry, but he's 30.
One major guy.
I don't think I can see Lowry
Nope.
being a two major guy, man.
Nope. He has one PGA Tour win. He's not going to be a two major guy.
I mean,
I would agree
I
with that.
feel like he can be a two major guy. Either way.
All right. Think of
So-
his Wikipedia page. Is Lowry having two majors on the Wikipedia page?
Yeah, I believe he does. And I might have a soft spot for my
It's because you're Irish.
fat countryman. Exactly. God, this sounds so fucking stupid because this guy can't fucking win either.
Love
But
it.
Sanjay at 65?
He'll close
He
it. He'll
could
close
be
it
in
there.
he could be in good form leading in.
I think he'll close around there.
You
But
think
Sung, I feel like
close around
Sungjae's
there?
always around those odds and majors.
I
And
mean,
that's like that one Augusta.
So Sungjae usually plays the Rocket Mortgage, plays Travelers. Those are two golf courses he probably could win at.
Yeah.
So yeah, I could see
Also-
him
also
riding
an
hot
eight-
and not being there.
An Asian has never won the Open. So
That's true.
might want to factor that in.
I mean, well, how do you define Colin Morikawa?
Oh, Jesus. Brian is
Pacific
just constantly
Islander.
trying to get us fucking canceled. Twice today,
Islander.
representations, and now one wrong. Good job, buddy. Thanks.
I mean, he was born in America.
Okay. Oh, no, we're just gonna go ahead. We're gonna stop. Just
No, what
move
team does he play
right
on the
along.
President's Cup? That's the basic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's not Asian.
Okay. All right, there you go.
Okay. All right.
All right. Kirsten, what about you?
Tom Kim,
Okay.
like short off the tee,
I can see it.
runner up last year. I think Open is his best chance to win. I like Tom Kim here, like 60-1 right now. I think that's a very promising bet. 45. That's not a great number, but he could be lower.
Okay. Matt, what about you?
All right, I'm going to go that route. I'm going to go with my favorite Asian golfer. That's Colin Morikawa. He is a Open champion winner, and you guys are saying he's going to play good golf this year. And if he wins this year, I think he'll close sub 33-1. So
Oh, I do.
He's 33 right now.
yeah, so just based off that, and this for Asians across the country, I'll go with Colin Morikawa.
Might nuke that, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, if
No, he
we're gonna
has
think
no
about-
chance to win. He has no chance to win, but he'll close sub 30.
Why?
Okay.
Because he lucked his way into winning his last
So,
UI Open championship.
Matt, do you subscribe to the theory where he won in the COVID year because there was no fucking fans?
No,
And
not at all.
like,
Not at all.
He just
I
like
do.
made every putt and is like a top iron player.
No,
But if the
he
fans were
also-
there and people were breathing down his
There
neck,
were
maybe he doesn't
fans
make those putts.
there. It wasn't.
Where? At Harding Park? No, there wasn't.
No, he won an Open though.
Yeah, at Royal St. George.
There were fans.
I know, and that was the most docile weather ever. You might as well play in the fucking dome. Like it was.
Okay,
Yeah, I agree.
like I don't
No,
know.
he won't-
no
he
one
has no
takes
chance to win this.
away. Like no one takes away Cam's win because there wasn't weather.
I'm not
because he-
taking it away. I
because
just
he
think he has
stole
no
it
chance to
from
win.
Rory, and he crushed the
No,
story.
I'm talking to Capper. You act like you won a fucking like junior am. Everyone
Who?
else could have won that tournament.
What tournament?
The Open that Colin won.
Oh, that Colin one. No, I 100% agree with you on that.
Okay.
All right.
I
Well,
think it was a joke.
you
I think
could
it was
you
a
could
joke.
you
It
could
didn't
make a
have anything to
connection.
do with the fact that I had Louis. Nothing to do with that.
Yeah, I had
At
him
all.
too.
All right, you could make a connection
I had
that
fucking
Colin,
Jordan.
that Colin wins at
I had
stinky
Jordan,
Open
too.
Championship venues, and Royal Troon probably is going to be a stinky Open Championship venue.
Yeah.
So,
Factor that
naturally
into
gonna
your
win.
model.
we actually have an Asian theme going. So we all picked either Asian golfers or guys with Asian heritage in their background. I don't think Hideki is dead. He's been battling neck.
I think Hideki's Asian. So I thought
Oh,
you
you
My
don't think
long
he's
shot
Asian?
is Sid.
Okay.
He won a golf tournament in Georgia. He's not Asian. Okay. Thanks, Brian. Thanks.
I don't think Hideki is dead. He obviously is battling some injury stuff with the neck. But I think about how this golf course plays. You don't have to hit driver a lot. That's where Hideki has really slipped, is he's not very good off the tee, but he's still a really good iron player. And he's got, some experience. He's a veteran. And if he can just be a solid ball striker from all across the bag there, and if he doesn't have to have driver a ton, Sensen was not a great putter and he won. I mean, he was trending with a putter. Maybe Hideki can do some similar stuff. And if Hideki flashes any sort of early season form, showing people he might be back, I don't think he's gonna be 50-1. I think people are just going to get back on that train and say like, oh, Hideki, premium player, maybe he can win. So I'll go with him as a guy that if he has an early season success, I don't think he'll be at his current number. So, all right, long shot. Matt, let's go with you. What's a long shot winner for the Open?
My long shot winner for the Open is a guy that Ryan mentioned before, and that's Ryan Fox, a guy who has crushed the DP World Tour links venue in his career. 125. Did I say 150 or 125?
I see 150 out there. Let's nuke.
All right, yeah. Let's lock that in. Yeah, he's crushed the DP World Tour links venues in his career. He's getting better by the year. He's going to be a full-time PGA Tour member this year. Look, it's a long shot. I think he's a guy with a high ceiling. Ryan Fox, 150-1.
I love it. I'm betting it.
Okay. All right, Capper, what about you?
If we're gonna stick with Asian losers, you might as well. Not Asian losers. Or European
Ricky
losers.
Fowler.
We might as well stick with Nikolai Højgaard. I mean, the man played on the Ryder Cup team, and he was a stud there. And if I can get 125 to 1 for him, like
great bet.
Somebody like 125 and playing in his comfy confines, already in Europe. The kid is a stud. I was really impressed with him at the Ryder Cup, and Steve has been talking him up in my fucking ear for at least 2 years now. So yeah, I think that's a great bet at 125 to 1.
All right. I think you're picking him because he's going to pull a Thomas Peters and snap a club and fire that in the Gores too.
Could be two. Could be two. Listen, I love my guys. There you go. Give me the guy who cares. Give me the guy who cares, not the guy who goes to the podium and doesn't give a fuck and drives home in his Ferrari. Give me the guy who gives a fuck.
All right, Kirshner, how about you? What's a long shot? Listen, a lot of pressure. I have
a trivia question for you.
Okay.
How many PGA Tour wins does Lee Westwood have?
2.
I was gonna say 3.
He has 2.
Oh,
he won the Fremont. He won the Zurich and the St. Jude in 1998 and 2010. No, again, like not being like a nationalist, like you cannot be number 1 in the world and only win twice on the fucking PGA Tour.
Golf was in a really bad place.
Like, what was golf?
This was post Tiger getting his car smashed in and the Perkins waitress. And
like, how did Luke Donald and Lee Westwood become?
I was gonna say that was the Luke Donald era. That was just like when it was golf was shitty. Everyone was shitty.
Like out on golf. Like DP World Tour, you literally like don't get OWGR points if you win. Like
I mean, well, back then you did because it was still kind of separated a little bit. But that's how they did. They just feasted over there.
Regardless.
Yes.
This is a guy that is good at golf. I think that he's kind of a first round leader target for me this year in the majors. And I think that he'll win on the PGA Tour this year, getting a little bit of a Ryder Cup bump, maybe kind of a Justin Rose winning the 2013 U.S. Open after he dominated Phil at the 2012 U.S. Open. This is a guy top 5 at a major, top 5 at this major, in his past before, 1-2 times in the past 2 PGA Tour seasons. Does anybody know who I'm talking about?
No.
Sepp Straka, 100-1. This is his worst number at a major. I kind of like him at the PGA and US Open, but Sepp Straka can absolutely win a major. Like he's kind of like a Darren Clark type guy. Very good at golf. And he fucking finished runner-up at the Open last year.
With the greatest chip I've ever seen.
Yes.
18.
Oh, so good.
Straka, 100-1 Open championship. it's a max play well bomb.
Yeah, I don't hate that.
Okay. All right. We're going to close the picks with a real stinker that is going to draw some jeers from everybody. But look, if Brian Harman can win an Open, I don't see why Russell Henley can't win an Open with his skill set.
Let's go.
I'm looking at the proximity buckets. 6 shots from under 150, 7 from 150 to 200, only 5 from over 200. So between, the shots under 150 and 150 to 200, that's right. Russell Henley's wheelhouse there. Premium iron player. And he's finished top 5 in the Masters. He's been relevant in some U.S. Opens. Has not done all that great in the Opens, but you know what? Look, like if this is going to be a contest of where it's going to be run with your irons and kind of small ball mentality, Russell Wilson at 125.
Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson. Let's go.
There you go. He can win a Claire jug.
I like it.
That's a good. We'll lock that up. We'll lock that with Ryan Fox. I think,
especially like accuracy off the tee, 150 to 1.
Right.
Yeah.
I'd rather not win money than bet on Russell fucking Henley.
All right, then keep being poor, bro. Like keep fucking betting guys you don't want to see win. No, I'm not. I will fucking bookmark this. If one of these long shots that we gave out doesn't win a major this year, I'll be surprised, man. I will be very surprised, or at least like a top 3. Like one of these long shots, they're going to be in contention on Sunday at that major.
I like it. So, all right, well, that's it. Matt, what do you got going on? I know you're, obviously you got golf coming back. You got some college basketball stuff. You got cooking on SGPN too. So why don't you plug away?
Yeah, super excited for golf to get back mainly, but college basketball every other day, articles, and then college football bowl season is coming to a finish. But yeah, it's been a great season coming with my second year with Golf Gambling Podcast. So thank you guys again for having me and super excited. Looking forward to it.
There you go. Yeah, you got a nice little promotion last year with us, and it's well earned. So congratulations.
Hell yeah.
All right, Brian, what about you? Plug away.
So I'm not writing for Odds Checker anymore. I'm not doing like any content. I'm just like doing my pod. So yeah, I don't really have much to plug. Truly, really. Just
but you have a tremendous pod though.
Yeah, TIB.
Yeah. That's all you need.
Tuesday night at 8. Like, I'm excited to get back into the swing of things. It's been a while. I miss losing $500 on golf every week.
So fun.
I and honestly, like I've been good in the fall. Like I really haven't like gambled a bunch of money on other sports. So I have a little bankroll, got the Christmas bonus. Like we're ready to go. And honestly, I might bet all these long shots that we talked about because I really feel good about it. And again, this is my biggest takeaway. Brian Harman and Wyndham Clark won majors last year. Like, things can happen.
Anything is possible. So, all right, Capper, what do you got?
Kevin Garnett said that anything is possible, baby.
He did
right after we won the championship. Yeah, I mean that's it, man. I mean, other than that, we got our pick show. What day is today? Is that Tuesday?
Yeah, so next Tuesday we'll do a pick show. I don't know how.
No. We got an NFL pick show on.
Oh, we do
Thursday.
it. Yes, we have an NFL pick show. Both of us coming off not so great weeks.
Yeah, not great, Bob.
Yeah, not great. But I got to figure out what we're gonna do a Kapalua preview because New Year's Eve is Sunday.
Who do you guys like for Kapalua?
I hadn't even thought about it, to be honest.
Hosting 85
Max Homa.
Maybe.
What's home at?
12.
Not good odds. Yeah.
Oh, the odds are already out. That's how disconnect. That's how disconnect. I haven't even seen anything right now.
Yeah, on Caesars only.
All right. Well, either way, we got that coming up for our NFL picks, and then we'll do Kapalua. We'll let you guys know what we're doing for Kapalua. Other than that, but NFL picks. We're gonna talk to anybody before New Year's or no? Oh yeah, I guess the football picks. So yeah. Other than that, hope everybody had a good Christmas. My brain is all jumbled. I don't even know what fucking day it is. Other than that, thank you for Matt and Brian for coming on. It was fun. We'll definitely hit a long shot. Can't wait for Brian or somebody else to hit some ridiculous call like the Harmon, and we can all laugh our way to the bank. And hope everybody had a Merry Christmas. Talk to you guys before the New Year's. Let's fucking go.
Peace.